Good morning, everyone. It's January 15th, 2020. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing this morning? Again, I would like to thank my subscribers who have donated to my PayPal account. I really appreciate it. It does help tremendously with certain problems that I have developed, which I'm going to discuss with you right quick. Because there was a long time where I made a video every single day, most of the time, and seems that I've developed some sort of strange blistering things on my hands, and my hands swell up to the point where I can't type or even close them, and the doctors, they really like to hold out on the one and only medication that we found that takes it away. You wouldn't believe what that medication is because I can't. But nonetheless, here in a few days, my hands are going to be swelled up to the point where I can't type. And it is very painful. I didn't want to tell anybody about this, but that's really one of the biggest reasons why I stopped making videos for a while. Is my hands hurt too bad to do anything with them, and this requires a lot of typing and using my hands. All right. So you've been helping me, my donators. You've been helping me get to the doctor and figure out what the fuck this shit is going on with my hands. I'm afraid to touch anything else on my body. Like if I go to the bathroom, I don't touch myself. I use my waistband, and I'm just afraid that it might spread to other parts of my body. And if that happens, I don't know. But nonetheless, thank you. I thank you for your help. It is very, very generous. Again, if you don't mind me saying your name, please do let me know in the comment section. Alright, so every day I look at my daughter. I thank God that I did not follow the vaccine schedule that was recommended by the CDC. Because I knew that the CDC were a bunch of lying sacks of shit. Here we are, 9 years after she was born. New science proves vaccines spread infectious disease, causing up to 15 times more infections among fully vaccinated children. My children have not gotten real sick, not terribly sick, as a result of them not getting some of these vaccines. This one comes from Ethan Huff, from Natural News. Come on. Alright, and I'm going to have to name this video something other than its topic because, well, YouTube will go ahead and censor it because they don't want people understanding that these cocktails of chemicals and disease particles are actually more harmful than good. But a new peer-reviewed scientific paper published in the journal Tropical Diseases, Travel Medicine and Vaccines has found that the DTaP vaccine, diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough is causing children who receive it to become more prone to contracting whooping cough later on in life. According to the study, children who receive the entire DTaP series of vaccinations are up to 15 times more likely to contract whooping cough at the 5-year mark following these jabs compared to unvaccinated children, completely obliterating the myth that whooping cough outbreaks are the result of anti-vaxxers. Now, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, okay? If they did not put all the additives into the vaccines, they probably would be a good thing. However, since they feel the need to play God, to put aborted fetal tissue, among other disgusting ingredients in these things, it's just not logical to inject yourself with these vaccines. I mean, I'd rather inject myself with heroin than these vaccines, straight up. And I've never done heroin before, and I never will. Not willingly, anyway. As it turns out, the vast majority of children being affected by the whooping cough outbreaks are vaccinated children, which some health authorities are reluctantly admitting. Even so, pro-vaxxers are insistent that all disease spread is caused by unvaccinated children, despite the fact that science continues to prove otherwise. See, people believe science as long as it fits their own personal narratives, personal beliefs. The minute the science says, well, you're wrong, they stop believing. Once more, the DTaP vaccine, along with many other vaccines, failed to provide permanent protection against disease, assuming they provide any protection at all. So, there's no evidence that they provide any kind of protection. Okay? Please, if you have small children, please reconsider getting these vaccines. Please. My daughter only got her first round of shots just to get her out of the hospital, because that's how it works. If you refuse the vaccines in the hospital, well, they'll take your child from you. And then you play hell with DSS getting them back. After that, we stopped taking her to the doctor. We went once, for an ear infection, which is common among small children. Excuse me. So, and while her cousins, all of them have been fully vaccinated, they all have severe learning disabilities. The smallest of them, the two smallest, look like they're malnourished, and they eat. Their growth, both mentally and physically, has been stunted. The older children have extreme learning disabilities. I wonder if it's related to the thimerosal and the formaldehyde and the aluminum that's in these vaccines. I wonder if that's what caused them to be stunted. I don't know, but I gotta wonder. Alright, moving on to the next one. If my computer will cooperate. You know, I've been using this computer for 7 years, something like that. And it's gotten full, so it's kind of laggy here. Alright, cops acquire nasal ranger smell amplifier to crack down on marijuana users, as if they don't have a lot of other shit to crack down on, such as pedophilia, rape. How about murder? How about armed robbery? And we'll only hit the first paragraph here. This is coming from Matt Argus of the Free Thought Project. In case after infuriating case, the Free Thought Project has reported on instances of horrifying rights violations, all stemming from a police officer's claiming to smell a plant. We have been seen both women and men sodomized and raped, oftentimes in public, as cops search for this smell. We've seen entire families held hostage, women and children beaten up, rampant sexual assault, and all of it stemming from a plant smell. Now police are arming themselves with a smell amplifier to go after those who dare to grow or partake in a plant in a state where recreational marijuana is legal. In December 2018, the state of Michigan legalized recreational marijuana, according to the city council in town of Bessemer. However, the most common complaint from residents in the town is the smell of weed. Oh my God. Despite it being legal, cops are now arming themselves with new smell technology to go after those who dare partake in a legal plant in the legal state. Trump campaign advisor pleads guilty to child porn, and sex trafficking. Yeah. Oh, I bet some of you thought it was just a liberal thing to molest children. I bet you guys all thought it was a liberal thing to sacrifice our children. But it's not. An informal advisor to Donald Trump's 2016 campaign who testified in the Mueller probe pled guilty Monday to charges of child sex trafficking and possessing child pornography. This is not an informal advisor to Donald Trump's 2016 campaign who testified in Mueller probe pled guilty Monday, and I don't know why they said this is not an. It should be this is a informal advisor to Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. He pled guilty Monday to charges of sex trafficking and possessing child pornography's first run-in with the law. He served 6 months after a 1991 guilty plea in Virginia to transporting child pornography. All right. And this guy, since he is connected politically, I bet he has all of his rights in order. I bet he can have his gun, and so on and so forth. 6 months for child trafficking and pornography, while people are serving decades for cocaine, marijuana, and what other substance deemed illegal by our overlords. Moving on. No, not that one. All right. Whose science do you believe? Do you believe the climate alarmists, or do you believe the solar minimalists? Well, let's check it out and find out. As we move further into 2020, solar activity dwindles. This year's solar activity will be marked as the lowest in over 200 years. The low in the sun's 11-year cycle will also have at least some repercussions for the climate here on Earth. But let's all stop eating meat. Let's all stop farting. Let's bottle them. Bottle our farts. That way our emissions don't harm our climate. On December 20th, 2019, Iceland received one of the largest snowstorms in history. The so-called 10-year storm brought winds of 100 miles per hour, with one weather station reporting gusts of up to 149 miles per hour, according to a report by Interesting Engineering. Iceland's, Europe's, and North America's weather have historically been tied to the sunspot activity of the sun. According to NASA, in 2020, the sun, which is currently in solar cycle number 25, will reach its lowest activity in over 200 years. That means space weather will be favorable for exploration beyond Earth, yet it could also very well mean we should prepare for odd or different weather patterns. Here in South Carolina, it's been around 70 degrees for the last week. It's been pretty nice. Unseasonably warm. I'm going to hit this last paragraph here from Interesting Engineering, and we'll be done with this one. Why are volcanoes all over the globe suddenly shooting giant clouds of ash miles into the air? The solar cycle is a periodic 11-year fluctuation in the sun's magnetic field, during which its north and south poles trade places. This has an enormous effect on the number and size of sunspots, the level of solar radiation, and the ejection of solar material comprised of flares and coronal loops. Now, according to cunts like AOC, misguided teenagers like Greta Thunberg, or however you say her name, we have 10 years. I saw an article on my phone where they're talking about we have 10 years to save the biodiversity of our planet. Well, if nature wills it, if nature wills the destruction of the biodiversity, who the fuck are we to step in to try to save it? So who do you believe? Do you believe the pro-vaxxers' science or the real science? Do you believe the climate alarmist science, or do you believe the other scientists who say they're full of shit? It's up to you. Hope everyone has a great day. If I see something else, I certainly will say something else. But until next time, kill the state, live free.